Welcome to Change Radio News today on Friday, the 24th of May 2024. The news is read by Loveness Gotora. Stories are making the headlines. Senator Timba names Triple C shadow cabinet ministers to challenge government policies. Masaraure fined 200 US dollars for comments on social media. RBZ tells business and citizens to go to banks to collect Z coins. And now the stories in detail. The Citizens Coalition for Change under the administration of Senator Jameson Timba released a list of its shadow cabinet ministers. Calling them alternative ministers, Senator Timba said they will be acting on behalf of citizens to challenge government ministers on various policies and decisions. Speaking at a press conference this morning, Senator Timba outlined how the illegitimacy crisis in Zimbabwe is having a knock-on effect on the economy, the health system, education, amongst others. He challenged the alternative ministers to champion the cause of citizens by challenging ZANU-PF ministers when they see acts of corruption or wrongdoing. Let's hear part of the presser where Senator Timba names the shadow cabinet.
Alternative cabinet will be made up of 16 shadow ministers. What it means is that we are going to be integrating some of the ministries and functions so that we put a smaller cabinet which is focused. The first appointment that we have made is that of our Shadow Minister for Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Honorable Koba Madlanyika. Honorable Koba Madlanyika is an economist. He's worked for government for so many years. He's also worked for Zimra. He is an economist, a renowned economist, whom we are going to pit against Professor Mtuli. Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs will be headed by Honorable Ajit Gumbo. Honorable Ajit Gumbo also occupies the same position within our party as the head of our Bureau for Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. We have combined defense and deliberation veterans affairs to create one entity or one portfolio which will be headed by Honorable Dr. Shakespeare Amauswa. Our international relations, cooperation and trade, which will shadow the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, will be headed by Honorable Gladys Sato. Our Home Affairs and Security will be headed by Advocate Honorable Martin Moreno. Our Industry and Commerce will be headed by Honorable Marian Matneka. Our Women's Affairs, Community Development, Small and Medium Enterprises, Honorable Helen Shigedeka. Our Local Government, National Housing, Public Works and Social Amenities, again is a combination of the two or three ministries, will be headed by Honorable Rupapazo Makumire. Honorable Rupapazo Makumire is a former councillor for Chirezi, deputy mayor. He's a town planner, regional and urban planning expert. He's currently consulting for both government and private sector in the area of regional and town. Our mineral energy and power development will combine those two again, will be led by Honorable Engineer Leslie Mangwa. Our education will combine the two education portfolios, both higher and basic. We've also combined education with youth, sports and recreation. And the Honorable Kapuzwa Ngazibore will be our subject. Labor, manpower development, public services, and social welfare, which again is a combination of two ministries, will be headed by Honorable Sabitiwe Moyo. This convergence of data and voice over the internet process. We do not believe ourselves that we should have a Ministry of Information, because it is a communist right. Media should regulate itself. In this regard, we have combined ICT, courier services, and broadcasting services as one portfolio because of the issue of conveyance. And the Honorable Darlington Igumbu will be our servant. For land, agriculture, fisheries, water and rural development, we've got Honorable Brian James, qualified agriculturalist, experienced farmer himself, and I believe we'll be able to speak to our Minister of Agriculture. We've been talking about our silence being full up until we realize that we can't speak half the country. So we expect you, Honorable James, to take the silence and tell the people of Zimbabwe the truth. Transport and infrastructure development will be led by Honorable Zilaiman. And environment, climate, tourism, hospitality, and wildlife management will be led by our Iron Lady, Honorable Joanna Mamo. And our health and child care will be led by the current portfolio chairperson for health, Honorable Daniel Moyeke. These shadow ministers will be assisted by deputies who are able to stand in for them in their absence in Parliament. Defense and Liberation Veterans Affairs, Honorable Field Marshal Jabulani Hadid. Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable Desire Moyo. ITV and Broadcasting Services, Honorable Gift Mantipi. Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Lavmo Jimmy. Labour, Manpower Development, Public Services and Social Welfare, Honorable John Kuka. Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Innocent Laiba. Health and Child Care, Honorable Shine Kwamba. Home Affairs and Security, Honorable Marco Mabula. Industry and Commerce, Honorable Black Dog, Honorable Senator Solano. Environment, Tourism and Climate Change, Honorable Zilankala. Women's Affairs, Community Development and Small and Medium Enterprises, Honorable Titi Sobaiwa. Agriculture, Honorable Marcela Boyce. Local Government, Honorable Johnson Matambo. Energy and Mines, Honorable Prosper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing that is going to be our alternative cabinet. What does it mean? What it means is that this team of the cabinet, alternative cabinet ministers, will be the official spokespersons of the party in and outside Parliament with respect to their authority. They will work with our Parliament leadership, Honorable Satwal, the leader of the opposition in Parliament, and Honorable Nomatemba, our chief whip, who will be part and or ex-official member of the shadow cabinet in Parliament, and the guide processes in Parliament in terms of engagement with that. I'd like to thank you very much.
This morning, Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe President Arituze Obert Masarauri was given a wholly suspended jail term of 4 months and fined $200 after he was found guilty of inciting violence when he posted an online comment demanding the release of the Arituze Secretary General Robson Chere. Masarauri was ordered to pay the fine or face 2 months in prison. We spoke to Arituze Deputy Secretary General Monyerazi Masiwa to give us his reaction to the judgment.
As a union, we cannot joyfully accept the release of President Obed Masaraure on the condition that he pays a fine or alternatively serves a prison sentence on an unjust conviction. We are worried that this persecution is meant to destabilize our union, is meant to derail our campaigns towards realizing a fair wage as the fraternity. Obed Masaraure has been in front of encouraging different unions to come together and fight for a fair wage. And at this moment in time, we find ourselves having our leader being convicted, being sentenced for committing no offense. From now onwards, we are not going to back off. We are going to approach the courts as we seek a redress towards such an unfortunate development, and our members across the country are going to continue calling for justice for Obed Masaraure until we get such a redress. We are going to fight for a fair wage. We are going to fight to realize a just society in Zimbabwe, to realize favorable working conditions for teachers in the country. We continue calling for justice for Obed Masaraure, justice for all teachers of amalgamated rural teachers in Zimbabwe who are being persecuted for simply calling for a fair wage.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, RBZ, issued a statement yesterday stating that there are enough SIG coins available for usage in Zimbabwe. The bank mentioned that businesses and individuals will need to go to their banks to withdraw the coins in order to start using them. RBZ was compelled to issue the statement following an outcry by citizens who were struggling to obtain change for purchasing goods and services. An example of this was our earlier report where citizens were fighting with bus operators over change. The Veteran Activist Association of Zimbabwe, VAZ, has clarified that it is not affiliated with MDC or aligned with Monzora. This was said by the organization chairperson, Senator Dr. Felix Magalela Mafa Sivanda, after attempts to infiltrate and destabilize the organization were made recently. He said the organization stands firmly behind the People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Let's hear him speaking.
The Veterans Activist Association of Zimbabwe is making a categorical statement that they are in support of President Chamisa and the progressive organizations in Zimbabwe, like the civil society organization, churches, trade unions, women organizations, youth organizations, and all those that are practically searching for freedom. Yes, Zimbabweans got its independence on the 18th of April 1980. That was hollow independence without freedom. We have to quote the late Vice President Joshua Nkomo, who said in his book, Nkomo's Life, I quote, open quotes, he said it took him too long to understand that independence is not equal to freedom, and it took him too long to understand that Zimbabweans had their national independence but without freedom. Consequently, VAS and its structures throughout the country want to disassociate themselves from the malcontents who still purport that their leader is Douglas Monzora, who sold out to ZANU-PF because of 30 pieces of silver. We want to make it very clearly that we, as the executive of VAS, in all structures, have solidified our solidarity with President Chamisa, that we cherish and we wish independence plus freedom of all Zimbabweans without any distinction. There are people purporting to be the original VAS. These people lost it because they followed malcontents and puppets and opportunists when they took everything that belonged to the people's struggle, like Harvest House, members of parliament, councillors, and what have you. We therefore call upon all Zimbabweans to be vigilant, to focus, not to waste time on trivialities. Positions are nothing. Names of political parties are nothing. But what we cherish to achieve is freedom, total freedom of Zimbabwe. So VAS is making this statement not feel favor because they are convinced that the rightful person, the man in town, is Advocate Chamisa. We will wait for his final signal, but we are not sitting on our laurels. We are doing our humanitarian work and campaigning for sanity in Zimbabwe. I thank you.
We caught up with Senator Wongai Tome, the Welfare Bureau Chief, to give us an update on this week's court cases that involved opposition members, as well as appeals to help some opposition members who were in difficult circumstances. She said,
"The state continues with its weaponization of the law against CCC members who are for Advocate Nelson Chamisa. In Harare, we championed for Shore of Harare South, who appeared before the Harare Magistrate Court, and the case was remanded to the 23rd of June for trial continuation. We also had the case of Honorable Champion Shibaya in the Budiro 26, who appeared at Rotten Row Magistrate Court for trial continuation. In Mashingo, we had Councillor Benik, Councillor Zishiri, Champion Desire Nyahunda, and Champion Wakura Warrior Jonah, who were arrested for disturbing the PVO bill meeting held at Charles Austin Hall in Mashingo, and they were later released and will appear in court by way of summons. What surprises us, Champion Wakura was actually injured during the skirmishes, but he ended up being the accused. In Harare, in Chinoi, and in other towns throughout the country, we had several disturbances of this PVO bill. In Manicaland, we championed Darrington Vuso, who was arrested and was remanded or was held in custody, and the Chisumbanjez therapy failed to take him to court, and he was then taken to court on Wednesday and was later released without any charge and to be summoned to court by way of summons. In Mashonaland Central, we had 3 of our MPs who have been summoned to court. That is Honorable Kagodora, who is accused of using a gun to threaten therapy during the 23 August harmonized elections. There is also Champion Chari Muzingizi, who is also being accused of tearing posters in Mazoe during the 23 August harmonized elections. They will be appearing in court on the 28th of May 2024. We also had some of our members in Mtare Rural, names withheld for fear of continuous victimization, who were beaten and accused of failing to contribute money to ferry people to an independence rally which was held at Murambinda on the 18th of April. They've been threatened not to buy in the shops owned by ZANU-PF members. In Mashonaland East, our members continue to be victimized for refusing to be assisted voters during the 23 August harmonized elections. So we continue to demand justice for all our political victims. We also continue to demand a fresh, free, fair, and credible election.
Imposter Sengezo Chabangu's close ally Sonini Moyo has been found guilty of breaking the Post and Telecommunications Act when she used foul language on WhatsApp to insult opposition activist Raymond Gombeza, who was standing up for President Nelson Chamisa during a heated discussion. The Bulawayo Magistrate Court fined her $100 or faced 2 months in prison. She also had a 3-month suspended sentence on condition she does not commit the same offense during the next 4 years. Bulawayo City Council's Corporate Communications Manager, Ms. Nesisa Mpofu, announced that the Bulawayo Arts Festival, BAF, will hold its 4th edition in the city of Kings, Bulawayo, from June 2nd to June 5th, 2024, showcasing the city's unique history and cultural heritage. The festivities will kick off on June the 1st, 2024, coinciding with Bulawayo Day as the city celebrates its 130th anniversary. In international news, Aliko Dangote, a well-known Nigerian billionaire industrialist, has expressed his frustration over the difficulties he faces moving across Africa, requiring 35 different visas, unlike British or French industrialists who move around the continent with fewer hassles. He emphasized that the need for visa-free movement for Africans to accelerate development across the continent and foster greater unity among African nations. Mr. Mnangagwa's former honorary diplomat to the UAE and CEO of ABWA, Shamiso Fred, was back in court after a group of victims of her Ponzi scheme applied to the High Court to launch a class action against her to recover millions lost in investments. The scheme, which was disguised as investment projects in egg production and dairy farming, mainly affected people in the UK, with investments ranging from $2,000 to $60,000. Fred is facing fraud charges since her arrest last November and is under bail of reporting to the police bi-weekly and her passport confiscated. Critics say her actions are said to have undermined Zimbabwe's efforts to attract foreign investments. Trust Gomo, a 29-year-old from Masenda village in Chifinyachano area in Buhera, was sentenced to 24 months in prison by the Mutare Magistrate Court for robbery. 6 months of the sentence were suspended. Gomo had stolen $5, an electric shaving machine, a cell phone, and a torch from Joseph Chisayenyerwa's home in Tinoingana village, Marange, on May 10, 2024. As we continue in the international news, the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on 20 May 2024 on Studio 702 with Clement Nyamatela said he was going to pay back stolen Palapala money to the Sudanese Azim Mustafa, which he paid for buying 20 buffalo at the game farm amounting to $580,000 in cash in 2019. And in the health sector, as the cholera crisis continues across Zimbabwe, we at Change Radio encourage citizens to wash their hands with soap and running water, not to eat half-cooked meals, not to buy vegetables and fruits from the street vendors, to always boil water before drinking, and to maintain good hygiene always. Finally, in sports, Cape United technical director and assistant coach Nelson Matongorere died yesterday morning at a Harare hospital where he was being treated for a stroke he suffered a month ago. He was 68. He is credited for his input in Cape United women's football, the U20 and U23 FIFA coaching, and worked with renowned German coach Klaus-Dieter Pachels for Mighty Warriors. May his soul rest in peace. Yesterday, there were 2 matches played in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League, where Dynamos beat Arenal Movers 2-1 and Highlanders drew 1-1 with Manica. And in the Euro finals, groups are as follows. Group A, Germany, Scotland, Hungary and Switzerland. Group B, Spain, Croatia, Italy and Albania. Group C, Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia and England. Group D, Poland, Netherlands, Australia and France. Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania and Ukraine. Group F, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal and Czechia. The finals will start on the 14th of June 2024 in Germany. To conclude the news bulletin, here are the headlines once more. Senator Timber names Triple C shadow cabinet ministers to challenge government policies. Masaraure fined $200 for comments on social media. RBZ tells business and citizens to go to banks to collect the ZIG coins. This ends the news bulletin.